Hey guys, Chad from Six Blog. Just want to do a quick little video and talk about my ZPacks Hexamid Solo ground sheet. I actually got this a couple of months ago. I think I may have posted a picture or something like that on my blog's Facebook page. But Caesar from Caesar in the Woods sent me a message the other day and was asking me some questions about it, and I realized that I hadn't really taken the time to make a dedicated video for this thing. In my previous Savage Gulf hike video from April, I did use it 2 nights on that hike, and I did, I believe I had some of my video where I talked about it, but I wanted to just take a couple of minutes and talk a little bit more about it. So what it is, as you can see, I have it in here, and to just kind of quote off some specs and stuff. Like I said, this is the Solo. It comes in a Solo Plus, and a twin size. And if I'm not mistaken, this is my Solo Plus Hexamid. And like I said, it is the Solo ground sheet. But if I'm not mistaken, all 3 sizes, I believe, will actually fit underneath the Solo Plus Hexamid. I could be wrong on that. I do know, of course, the Solo does and the Solo Plus does. But I went for just the Solo. And the reason I did that is because I wanted a ground sheet with a bathtub floor that was as light as I could get. Now, I'm sure I could have went with Polycro and made something up, but it probably would have been about the same weight. Tyvek, of course, would have been heavier. And then, of course, my natural love for ZPacks, I was drawn to this. So, like I said, go ahead and spit off some specs. For my specific Solo ground sheet that I have here, with 6 of the shock cords, as you can see here, 6 of these shock cords, and then with each one I have a mitten hook and a mini cord lock. With those, and with I think it's a small or a super small or something, anyway, a small Cuben fiber stuff sack, the total weight comes to 3.6 ounces. Now, I got this to use as an alternative to my Hexanet whenever I could get away with just using a ground sheet and not need the bug protection. I think I may have to rethink that just a little bit, but I'll get to that in just a second. But just to show you the savings, the weight savings, my Hexanet with all the tie outs and stuff sack and blah 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 comes to 9.5 ounces. So this being 3.6 ounces, I'm saving almost 6 ounces. Not too bad. I will say that I do throw in a Polycro ground sheet underneath it, which weighs 1 ounce, and that's just to help protect the material. It's 1 ounce per square yard Cuben fiber is what this is made out of. So that kind of actually puts me at 4.6 ounces, but at the same time it also puts my Hexanet at 10.5 ounces. So I still have about the same 6 ounce weight savings. Also, what I did to help with the bathtub floor, the tie out for the back corner is actually at the bottom down there, just above my finger. I made another little tie out and just stuck it to the tarp there, and that helps pull that back wall more vertical rather than just out. As far as the ground sheet itself, I have not measured, but the listed specs on this thing at the head and foot, this thing is 24 inches wide, and then at its widest point, which is going to be at the middle, it's listed at 32 inches. And I believe it has a listed spec of being 7 feet long. The bathtub floor, they list at 5 inches. However, I think that's going to kind of vary depending on how you have it set up. But as you can see here, it is quite tall. Just kind of get something for reference. These are 6-inch stakes. 6-inch shepherd hook stakes, and you can see there they're still about 2.5–3 inches above that. So that's a lot right there. At the corners, it's about the same. I still have room. However, if this is pressed down, that is going to make a little bit of a difference. But the edges aren't going to typically be pressed down unless you have stuff that's all the way to the edges in the ground sheet. Now, what I was talking about a while ago is that I may have to rethink things. Oh yeah, and just for a point of reference, this is the large X-Lite. The large X-Lite is listed at 25 inches at its widest point, and it's not really blown up super tight, so it's probably 24 and a half, 25 inches, somewhere right in there. And you can see how much room I have on either side. It's actually kind of tight. And then you can see how much room I have at the foot end. Not really a whole lot. And the same goes for the head end. It's almost stretching it as much as it's going to get. So, like I was saying, my idea was I wanted to buy this and be able to use the ground sheet whenever I didn't need to worry about bugs, which means cold months. The thing is that I found is that cold months I have more gear with me in my backpack. I have more clothing. It just seems like I have more gear, which is natural. Summertime I would have way less gear. However, summertime I would need a bug net. So this won't work on summertime. Wintertime I don't need a bug net, but what that means is, and if you've seen in my last video from Savage Gulf, I pretty much fill that up. I've pretty much got stuff lined all around me. I guess I could actually take some of that stuff and put back in my backpack and hang my backpack out somewhere. But I do kind of like having everything with me. So, I don't know. The Solo is fine. I think the Solo Plus would have gave me a little bit more room. However, I'm not sure if it still would have been exactly what I was wanting. So I'm just going to have to see how this works out. But I just wanted to do a video. This is actually longer than I had intended. Trying to make them just a little bit shorter. You can see how much it is. Like I said, that should be about 24 inches from side to side. And so that's it. That's the ZPacks Solo Cuben fiber ground sheet. If you have any comments or questions, just feel free to post them below, and I'll do my best to reply to the comments or answer any questions you may have. And as usual, guys and girls, I appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time.